What if I told you most people don't stay poor because they lack intelligence? They stay poor because nobody taught them how money actually works. School teaches you math, society teaches you status, but almost nobody teaches you the psychology behind money. And that's dangerous, because money is not only numbers, it's emotion, fear, ego, comparison, patience, habits. Some people earn millions and lose everything, while others quietly build wealth without looking rich at all. Why? Because financial success is less about knowledge and more about behavior. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most powerful financial books ever written, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This is not just a book summary. This is a psychological breakdown of why people succeed, fail, save, overspend, panic, and destroy their future with money. And if you truly understand these lessons, you will never think about money the same way again. So sit back, clear your mind, and watch carefully, because one idea from this video might change your financial future forever. Chapter 1. No one's crazy. Have you ever judged someone's financial decisions? Maybe someone refuses to invest. Maybe someone wastes money constantly. Maybe someone fears taking risks, and you think, how can they think like this? But Morgan Housel explains something powerful. Nobody is crazy. People make decisions based on their personal experiences. A person who grew up during financial struggle sees money differently from someone raised in luxury. Someone whose family lost everything in a recession sees risk differently from someone who became rich during economic growth. And this changes everything, because money decisions are emotional, not logical. Every person carries invisible financial memories. Memories of stress, fear, survival, shame, scarcity. And those memories quietly shape behavior for decades. That's why two people can hear the exact same advice and react completely differently. One feels opportunity, the other feels danger. And honestly, you probably do this too. Many of your financial habits are emotional survival patterns you learned unconsciously. And this is where it becomes dangerous. Because if your psychology is broken, more money won't save you. It will only amplify your habits. Chapter 2. Luck and Risk. Modern society worships successful people, millionaires, entrepreneurs, investors. We study them obsessively. But almost nobody talks about luck. And that's dangerous, because success is never fully skill, and failure is never fully stupidity. Two people can work equally hard and still end up in completely different lives. One gets lucky timing, the other experiences disaster. One meets the right people, the other stays invisible. One invests before a boom, the other enters before a crash. Life is unpredictable, but humans hate uncertainty. So society creates simple stories. Rich people are smarter. Poor people are lazy. Reality is far more uncomfortable. Luck matters. Timing matters. Environment matters. And understanding this changes your mindset completely, because it teaches humility. When you succeed, stay humble. And when you fail, don't destroy yourself emotionally, because many outcomes are influenced by forces you cannot fully control. But here's where people become trapped. They see successful people take massive risks and assume they should copy them. What they don't see are the thousands who failed taking the exact same risks. This is survivorship bias. You only hear from winners, never from silent failures. And social media makes this even worse, because online, failure disappears. Only success remains visible.
Chapter 3. Never Enough. This chapter exposes one of the most dangerous psychological traps in modern society: the inability to feel satisfied. More money, more status, more luxury, more attention. And modern culture constantly feeds this addiction. You open social media and instantly feel behind. Someone richer, someone younger, someone more successful. And slowly, your peace disappears because comparison never ends. Morgan Housel explains that many wealthy people destroy themselves because they never define enough. They already won, but greed keeps pushing them further, and eventually they lose everything. Not because they lacked intelligence, but because they could not stop. And honestly, this doesn't only happen financially. People destroy relationships chasing status, destroy health chasing success, destroy peace chasing validation. Because modern society rewards visible achievement, even when it secretly creates emotional emptiness. And maybe that's the real tragedy. Many people spend decades chasing lives they don't even truly want, not because it fulfills them, but because it impresses others.
Chapter 4. Compounding. Humans are addicted to immediate results. Fast money, fast success, fast transformation. But real wealth grows slowly, silently, almost invisibly. And this is where most people fail, because humans underestimate compounding. Small actions, repeated consistently over years, create extraordinary outcomes. Saving money, improving skills, building discipline, investing consistently. At first, nothing seems to happen, and because results are invisible, people quit. That's the tragedy. Most people stop right before compounding becomes powerful. Morgan Housel explains that Warren Buffett's extraordinary wealth came not only from investing skill, but from time. He invested for decades. Time amplified everything. And this applies beyond money. Knowledge compounds, confidence compounds, health compounds, relationships compound, even bad habits compound. Every small action shapes your future identity. And honestly, that should scare you a little, because your current habits are quietly building your future life, even the invisible ones.
Chapter 5. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Making money is difficult. Keeping it is harder. Many people become rich. Few stay rich. Why? Because getting wealthy often requires risk-taking, but staying wealthy requires emotional control, patience, humility, discipline, restraint, and modern culture rewards the opposite. People are pressured to show success immediately, so when they make money, they increase their lifestyle instantly. Bigger house, luxury car, expensive habits, and suddenly their income grows, but their freedom disappears. This is the hidden trap. People become rich externally while remaining emotionally trapped internally. Morgan Housel explains that survival is the foundation of wealth, because if you survive long enough, compounding eventually changes your life. But many people self-destruct before that happens. And this reveals something uncomfortable. Most financial destruction is emotional, not mathematical. Ego destroys more wealth than bad investing ever will.
Chapter 6. Tails drive everything. Most outcomes in life come from a few important moments, a few opportunities, a few decisions, a few lucky breaks. And this changes how you should view failure, because success is uneven. One investment can change your life. One relationship can transform your future. One decision can redefine everything. But humans expect constant progress, and when life becomes slow, they panic. They quit too early. Morgan Housel explains that in investing, a tiny percentage of investments create most returns. The same happens in life. A few moments matter enormously. This should give you hope, because your future can change faster than you think. One opportunity can erase years of struggle, but only if you stay in the game long enough to experience it.
Chapter 7. Freedom. What do people actually want from money? Most assume the answer is luxury, but that's not true. People want freedom. Freedom to control time. Freedom to choose how they live. Freedom to wake up without panic. And ironically, many people sacrifice freedom trying to look successful. They buy lifestyles that trap them. They earn more but become less free. This is one of the darkest psychological traps of modern society. People spend years trying to impress others while secretly losing control over their own lives. Morgan Housel explains that the greatest value of money is autonomy, control over your time, because time is life itself. And once you realize this, you stop seeing wealth the same way.
Chapter 8. Man in the Car Paradox. People buy expensive things hoping others will admire them. Luxury cars, designer brands, expensive watches. But here's the paradox. When people see your luxury car, they rarely think, "Wow, I respect that person." Instead, they imagine themselves owning the car. Humans naturally focus on themselves, which means the admiration people chase through status symbols is often an illusion. This chapter reveals how deeply insecurity drives consumption. Many people buy things emotionally, not because they need them, but because they crave validation. And this creates a dangerous cycle. Temporary attention, temporary dopamine, temporary status, but never lasting peace. Real confidence rarely needs constant display. That's why many truly wealthy people live surprisingly quietly. They no longer need external approval.
Chapter 9. Wealth is what you don't see. This may be the most important chapter in the entire book, because it destroys the illusion of visible success. People think wealth looks expensive, but real wealth is often invisible. Savings, investments, financial security, freedom from stress. Nobody sees those things. What people see is spending. And because social media constantly displays visible consumption, people confuse appearance with success. This creates fake wealth everywhere. People looking successful online while secretly drowning emotionally and financially. Morgan Housel explains that wealth is what you don't spend. That line changes everything, because true wealth often looks ordinary. And honestly, that's difficult for modern society to accept, because people are addicted to performing success. But silent wealth is usually stronger than loud wealth.
Chapter 10. Save money. Many people believe saving money requires a huge income, but this chapter explains something deeper. Saving is more about behavior than salary. Even high earners can remain financially trapped. Why? Lifestyle inflation. The more they earn, the more they spend, and eventually their lifestyle becomes emotional pressure. Saving creates flexibility, and flexibility creates emotional stability. Because when you have savings, you can make decisions calmly, without desperation, without panic, without fear. And honestly, that peace is priceless.
Chapter 11. Reasonable greater than rational. Humans are emotional creatures, not robots. That's why perfect financial logic rarely works long-term. Morgan Housel explains that being reasonable matters more than being perfectly rational, because consistency matters more than perfection. A simple plan followed for decades beats a perfect strategy abandoned emotionally. And honestly, this applies to life itself. People destroy good systems chasing perfect ones, then quit when reality becomes difficult. Chapter 12. Surprise. History is unpredictable. Crashes, pandemics, wars, economic shifts. The future never unfolds exactly as expected. Yet humans constantly assume tomorrow will resemble today, and that assumption creates vulnerability. Morgan Housel explains that flexibility matters more than prediction because uncertainty is unavoidable. People who prepare emotionally for uncertainty survive. People who demand certainty eventually break. Chapter 13. Room for Error. One of the smartest things you can do financially is leave room for mistakes. Emergency savings, low debt, margins of safety. Because life always surprises you. Most financial disasters happen because people build lives with zero room for failure, and eventually, reality catches them. Room for error is not weakness, it's wisdom. Chapter 14. You'll change. Your future self will not think exactly like you. Your goals will evolve. Your values will shift. And this creates an important realization. Many people trap themselves chasing identities they eventually outgrow. That's why flexibility matters. Build a life adaptable enough to grow with you. Chapter 15. Nothing's free. Everything in life has a hidden price. Want wealth? The price is patience. Want freedom? The price is discipline. Want investing success? The price is uncertainty. But many people want rewards without emotional discomfort, and that's impossible, because meaningful outcomes always require psychological cost.
Chapter 16. You and Me. Different people play different financial games. A young investor, a retiree, an entrepreneur, an employee. They all have different goals. And this matters because people constantly compare themselves unfairly. Someone else's strategy may destroy your life. That's why self-awareness matters more than imitation.
Chapter 17. The Seduction of Pessimism. Negative news spreads faster than positive news. Why? Because fear captures human attention. Disaster feels intelligent. Optimism feels naive. But history shows something important. Despite crises, human progress continues, and understanding this prevents emotional overreaction. Chapter 18. When You'll Believe Anything. Desperation changes behavior. Fear changes thinking. People under emotional pressure make irrational decisions, and modern society constantly keeps people emotionally overwhelmed. That's why emotional control matters more than intelligence. Chapter 19. All Together Now. The psychology of money ultimately teaches one life-changing truth. Financial success is not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about behavior, patience, consistency, humility, long-term thinking, emotional control, because wealth is psychological before it is financial. Maybe the most dangerous thing about money is that it exposes who you already are. If you are impatient, money amplifies it. If you crave validation, money amplifies it. If you fear uncertainty, money exposes it. And maybe that's the real lesson of this book. Financial freedom is not only about becoming rich, it's about escaping emotional slavery, escaping comparison, escaping endless consumption, escaping the need to constantly prove yourself. Because one day, you may realize you spent your entire life chasing things that never truly mattered. If you learned something new today, don't just scroll away. Share this video so more people can see it. Comment your thoughts below. I really want to know what you think.